out of the post.
Tom Izzo told us a couple weeks ago he thought Trevion Williams was the best passing big man in college basketball. I also think we need to update the photo. You referenced it, Trevion Williams. He's changed his game, changed his body since he came to join Matt Painter's program. Wisconsin wins the opening tip. Badgers need a win. They have great computer numbers. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament, but they need to feel a little better about themselves as they play into March. Wisconsin will play very deliberately. They just have not been shooting the ball well at all. Brad Davison misses the first look of the night. Meanwhile, Purdue with the young starting lineup. Two of those freshmen who have had such great first years in West Lafayette. Mason Gillis, Jaden Ivey, Eric Hunter, veteran point guard. Sasha Stefanovic starting to play much better. He had a long COVID pause and then just wasn't himself coming back. Williams got the first look for Purdue, but it wouldn't go down. Amazing the contrast, isn't it? The experience level. This is the only regular season meeting between the oldest team in the Big Ten and the youngest team in the Big Ten, the Badgers and the Boilermakers.
Well, and that's what's so puzzling about this slump that Wisconsin is in, Dave. I mean, this is essentially the same team that made that run to the Big Ten title last year, and it's been such a struggle, particularly from the perimeter. It's nice to get a three there early, especially from that guy.
I mean, Aleem Ford's hardly made any of them in the last few weeks. Wisconsin's got a bunch of players who are like that, so that is a great sign. There was Williams. I thought that was a good pass. It went right through the hands of Eric Hunter. That would have been a layup.
You always have to be ready, because you may think he's just going to plant himself there, and if you're cutting and cutting to score, he is going to find you. I mean, it is the most improved part of his game. A willing passer and a good passer. He sees everything.
I mean, what are you cutting to the basket for if not to get that pass and lay it in? Badgers want a short. So that pass went right through the hands of Nate Reaver. Painter's 16th year, and he is, I think, such an underrated head coach across the national landscape. He's not underrated inside this conference, but doing one of the best jobs I think he's ever done with a super young, inexperienced team during this pandemic season without a lot of time to prep before the year. And the Boilermakers are in the mix for a top 4 seed in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Mason Gillis, who's such a hard-working young player. Another hustle play for him. Ivey draws a foul and almost made the shot. You know, Chris, of all these young players that we've already referenced, maybe the one with the biggest upside is this young man from South Bend, Indiana, Jaden Ivey, whose athletic talents are overflowing.
He is a supreme talent. He's going to be the next great one here at Purdue. A terrific athlete, becoming a basketball player around that athleticism. He's been very good in their last 3 games. He's on that trend line, Dave, that you want freshmen to be on. He's learning the game. He's a coachable player. Matt Painter glowing about him today when we spoke to him.
Yeah, that number supports that double-figure scoring in so many games recently for Purdue. He made 1 of 2 free throws, so that's the first point for the Boilermakers, who have not been a quick starting team this year. One thing for Purdue, they've been an excellent second-half team, have often struggled early in games. Reavers will hand back to Trice, and Ivey was right in his face. Davidson found an opening, and he hits the second 3 already for Wisconsin.
Well, you mentioned Purdue not getting off to good starts. Wisconsin hasn't either. Wisconsin was down 17-5 to start the game against Illinois, down 14-3 against Iowa. And for a team that struggles to score, you can't start games like that. So it's good to get 2 threes to start the game.
Yeah, and Greg Gard knows his team is a little wobbly right now. The Big Ten Coach of the Year last year. His team shared the Big Ten championship last season, basically brought back the whole team this year. Part of the reason why this stretch has been so puzzling for Wisconsin. But I don't know about you. I feel like some of those outside shots start going down and everything changes for the Badgers. I mean, the other pieces are in place. They just have not been making shots.
Well, and it's not just making shots, it's the quality of shots. I mean, you can live with misses on good shots. I think that at times they bog down offensively and don't work to get a great shot every time down. They at times can settle, especially against the better defensive teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that was a tough shot from Sasha Stefanovic, but it went down, so it's 6-3 Badgers here in the early minutes. Nate Reavers fall away against Williams. That one goes.
And it helped to get him, some level of interior scoring. It helped to get Nate Reavers going, a guy who has not shot it well in their last 5 games. Only 9 of 35 from the field. It's been a real struggle for him.
It is fascinating big man matchup. That pass was knocked away by Tyler Wall. Good hustle by him, but Gillis comes away with the ball. Shot clock did not reset. Ivey dribbled it right off his foot. Eric Hunter swarming Demetric Trice. Here's Reavers backing in Williams. And never could find an opening for a shot. Davison got fouled shooting a 3. So he'll be at the free throw line when we come back.
I called a friend of mine last night who's a big Purdue fan, and he used 2 words. He said fighter and friend. And it's one thing to do something for 40 years, and you're going to engender love and affection, but to do it the way that Kliz did it, you engender what we've seen over the last couple days. What an outpouring.
One of a kind, huge part of Matt Painter's family, the Purdue family, and that is undoubtedly true. Out of the timeout, Brad Davison makes a couple free throws, so we're thinking about Larry tonight, that's for sure. All of us at ESPN, everyone around the Big Ten. Doesn't feel the same without him. Jaden Ivey, what a move, and he reverses it in.
Pro. I mean, let's start there. At some point, maybe sooner than Purdue fans hope, but that is a pro. What a move. I mean, just didn't even have to hesitate. Right through the legs.
Micah Potter off the bench has come into the game for the first time, replacing Reavers. Potter comes off the bench, but often will play more minutes, and he steps out and hits the 3. So the counter for Wisconsin with all the size and strength inside for Purdue is their big man can move away from the basket and knock down shots. Potter hits the 3. What a great sign for the Badgers. Stefanovic got knocked down. No whistle. They'll play a little bit in the early minutes. And they're going to call Ivey for an offensive foul.
Dave, the kids call this a hezzy tween skip through. Bye-bye. Jaden Ivey. Delicious. And using the other side of the basket. And then Micah Potter, you said it, he's the offensive complement to Reavers. And, I think he becomes very important for a team that has not shot it well from the perimeter. He gives them that capability. And he's been playing well. I mean, he shot it well over the last 3 games for them.
Dream start here for Wisconsin, seeing some of those shots go in the basket. Zack Edey, the 7'4" freshman, somehow found his way over to the corner and got a piece of that shot. He came from nowhere. Man, that was impressive. Now he posts up, but Potter swats that entry pass right back to Eric Hunter, who missed the 3. They're going to call Edey for a push-off.
It's an unbelievable block. I mean, look how far the 7'4" Edey has to come. I mean, that's not just about being 7'4". That's about an extra effort. And that's the thing that jumps off the screen with Zack Edey. He's actually a really good athlete. And I don't know if it's the baseball or the hockey in his background, but he's a pretty good athlete at that massive size, and his effort is never questioned.
part of the tradition of not just big men, but super big men who have played for Matt Painter over the last decade. Edey's probably the biggest of them all, and ultimately he may go down as the toughest too. He's a kid who plays hard. He does have a hard time staying on the court, though. Foul trouble has been a big issue for him. He's already committed a personal, and he went to the bench. Potter will try another three. That one just in and out. Rebound Aaron Wheeler, who's in for the Boilermakers.
And with Potter shooting from the perimeter, Dave, there's that question of that matchup. Who can impose their will? Williams here on the block or Potter shooting from the perimeter?
Well, Williams' travel has been a slow start for Trevion Williams, who has not been a big scorer in the last couple of games for Purdue. In a way, it's almost been good news for the Boilermakers because they've won convincingly. His supporting cast has played really well, but a slow beginning tonight for their all Big Ten big man. The freshman Jonathan Davis cuts and takes a pass from Trice. Davis, who's playing better and better for Wisconsin. Trevor Anderson cut off at the free throw line. Trice, tough contested shot, long rebound, controlled by Williams. We're 7.5 minutes in. Purdue stuck on 5 points. Been a very rough offensive beginning for them. Ivey's three goes down.
He's become much more efficient, too. Much more comfortable with the basketball in his hands, lower turnover, and making shots at a higher efficiency.
Anderson found Trice. Three, no good. Potter crashing in on the offensive glass. He committed the foul. Well, we've kind of seen it all from Potter's going to check out. Reavers will come back in. We've seen it all already from Jaden Ivey, who's made that explosive move to the bucket, hit a three. Last time Wisconsin won on this floor. Of course, in normal times, winning here is just, I mean, it might be the loudest arena in college basketball. It might be. It's sure one of them. Last time Wisconsin won a game here was 7 years ago, 2014. Yeah.
Good start here.
They have missed their last 4 overall from the field. Purdue out of the timeout. A little shot fake for Brandon Newman, who's now coming off the bench. He started most of the year. Let's say that one went off the hands of Trevion Williams. Brandon Newman not shy to shoot the ball. He comes in and gets one up immediately. It just didn't go down. Davison found Reavers up top. Anderson down low to Ford, who had it blocked from behind by Ivey. What a play. He's been the star so far for Purdue, but that time as he went up, I think he was going to shoot a little floater, and it just got poked away from behind. Last 2 games, Ivey 6 steals, 6 blocks combined in 2 games. So more of the same here tonight. There's Ford's 3. Rattled out. Well, we got 2 rivalry games coming your way on Thursday on ESPN. And Michigan State. And that game's going to have a different feel than it would have before tonight. What a story in Ann Arbor tonight at 7 Eastern. It'll also stream on the app. And then at 9 Eastern, it is Texas and Oklahoma, 2 top 20 teams in the Big 12. Thursday, both games on ESPN and on the app. Anderson out of the little inbound play hits the floater. Well, Michigan State, and they're locked in a game. We'll keep you posted. Michigan State and Indiana in the Big Ten, 2 real, true bubble teams. That's a huge game tonight. They call Williams for the offensive foul. It's close. We'll keep you posted on the Spartans and the Hoosiers. Michigan State then gets to play. Yeah, congratulations. You're trying to get in the tournament. You get to play the Wolverines 2 times in a row, and Michigan probably is not going to be a real happy team come Thursday night.
Well, I'll tell you what about that game earlier, Illinois-Michigan, and nothing to take away from Illinois. They were great. Their defense was locked in. They took the fight to Michigan. That was a no-show for Michigan. That was the first no-show I've seen from Michigan all season, and they better get used to wearing that bullseye on their back, because that burden can be heavy, and it was very heavy tonight.
I mean, Illinois beat him by 23 without a first-team All-American. I would assume who didn't play. Ford just barely got that shot off. That was not a real good possession for Wisconsin. Purdue still trying to get the offense going. Newman works his way closer to the bucket. Edey, offensive rebound with 4 Badgers around him. Here's Thompson's 3. Good.
Well, it's good to get a 3 off the offensive board. The spacing wasn't great after Edey had collected it, but a good extra pass and a nice step in there by Thompson.
Anderson baseline. That pass, he kind of left his feet, didn't really have anywhere to go with the ball. It turns into a turnover. Those don't happen very often for Greg Gard's team.
No, they don't. It's really the thing they do best offensively is they don't turn the basketball over, but they also don't drive baseline, jump in the air, trying to make a play very often.
Good sell job by Sasha Stefanovic. That was close, but they give the ball to Purdue. Fewest turnovers of any team in college basketball. Stefanovic on this end off the glass.
How about how he's come on? Took a minute to get back from having COVID. Offensively, it was a struggle. He has really come on of late, and when he gives you a 2-point shot, a 2-point bucket, you might as well call that a bonus.
Yeah, when he came back, even when he was on the court, just didn't look like himself at all. He's a pretty good defensive player, too. He rode Jonathan Davis all the way to the bucket, maybe helped force that miss. Stefanovic will drive and have his shot blocked by Potter. By the wall, that pass, I thought it got tipped, but it went off of Davis out of bounds.
Micah Potter is playing really well. A nice job breaking contact from Edey and coming over to make a play. Again, he's the offensive complement to Reavers, but he's played so well offensively. For him to give you some defense, particularly some rim protection, is big.
Earn him even more minutes. Edey gets a touchdown low, huge size advantage, but Potter's doing a good job of forcing him at least away from the basket. Gillis, though, nice pass, and he lays it in to tie the game.
How about the little nudge by Gillis to create his space? Such a big body, 230 pounds.
He doesn't look like a freshman. Potter used the shot fake, went up to dunk. They call an offensive foul. Newman came over with the help defense, and Potter gets called for the foul. It's going to be hard for me to limit that. If he wants to sing or whatever he wants to do, he can do it tonight. The Blue Devils and Yellow Jackets playing a very big game in the ACC. You've seen a lot of both teams. Chris, what do you think?
Well, look, Duke was playing really well going into that Louisville game the other night, and obviously an overtime game, a gut punch of a game. Carly Jones was outstanding for Louisville. You know, about a month ago, Dave, that Duke team was going for as bad a season as Duke's had under Mike Krzyzewski. You know, and came on a little bit in that 4-game stretch as Edey puts one through there. But, you know, look, the ACC is down, and so there just haven't been as many opportunities to get games that are going to help a resume. Even that game to end the season against North Carolina, I don't know, after losing two straight, if they were to lose to Georgia Tech tonight, I don't know if a win over North Carolina and whatever they do in the ACC tournament is good enough to get Duke in.
Edey, big man who does shoot it well from the free throw line. He's got a nice touch, completes the three-point play. I mean, there's the contrast to me, talking about Duke and the inability to have enough opportunities to pile up impressive wins. Michigan State, I mean, Michigan State's had a similar kind of year, and yet last week they beat Illinois, they beat Ohio State. It was like every night they're getting a chance to come up with a resume-building win. Well, Wisconsin, that great start, it seems a long a while ago. That snaps a 10-0 run. They needed that from Nate Reavers. Edey down low. Man, sometimes it's like he's playing on a Nerf basket. He just turns around and drops it in.
And it all comes down to position. Matt Painter telling us that today. You know, they preach get as deep as you can on that post. There, Edey didn't get quite as deep as you'd probably want him to. He's shown you a little bit of range and the ability to turn and score.
When your arms are that long, you just, okay, I'm 10 feet away. I'm just going to reach over and drop it in. Trice, that one in and out, no good. Really nothing in transition for either side, which is not a shock. We knew this game was going to be played at a half-court kind of tempo. Here's Edey again against Reavers. Reavers did a better job that time, but Jaden Ivey on the offensive glass will shoot free throws. And I think I called him Jaden Ivey, of course. We all know that. I mean, everybody's going to know this guy's name, the son of Niele Ivey, who is now the head coach at Notre Dame, was a great player in her own right in the Notre Dame. I don't think they call it the Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor, I think they call it at Notre Dame.
Of course Notre Dame would call it that. What pretension. We don't have a Hall of Fame. There she is. Scored over 1,000 points at Notre Dame. Won a national championship, Dave, in 2001. Do you know who they beat in the championship game?
I think they beat the Boilermakers.
Beat the Purdue Boilermakers. Niele Ivey pulled a Willis Reed in that game. Went into that game with a really bad ankle. Had it taped extra tight. It was swollen. She came out of the locker room like Willis Reed back in his day with the Knicks. And Notre Dame went on to the national championship.
Their kid Jaden, it's cool. I mean, South Bend not that far from West Lafayette. She has a chance to come watch the game tonight. Davison, the defense just left him, so he said, okay, well, fine, I'll lay it in. Davison gets 2 for the Badgers.
You're almost shocked when Wisconsin gets a 2-point basket, particularly a layup.
Seriously, there's Edey again against Reavers off the glass. Too big, too strong. Oh, a whistle and a foul against Gillis. He knocked Brad Davison to the floor. Well, Saturday, our college hoops schedule highlighted by 2 different Sonic blockbusters on ESPN and the app. And how about Illinois? We'll see if Dosunmu plays, but the way they played tonight, I mean, good grief, Illinois was impressive against number 7 Ohio State. And then, as Jay calls it, it never disappoints. Duke and Carolina always delivers. 6 Eastern Saturday on ESPN on the app. Number 1 seeds as of right now in our projections. Yeah, I think Illinois is feeling pretty good about their slot after the way they played tonight. The Illini just took it to Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Billis's invoice is in the mail to you, Dave, for using his
phrase.
I
even
You're
got
not
it
allowed
wrong.
to use it without permission.
Yeah, he's darn right about it, though. It's the rivalry that just every time is an entertaining game. Even in a year where you think, okay, the teams are down, they're not playing as well, it's going to be a good game.
It's an unranked matchup this year. Very rare to have a Duke-Carolina game when both teams unranked.
I would say. Doesn't mean it's not important for those 2 teams. Very important as they close out the ACC regular season. To the basket, Eric Hunter has been quiet in this first half. Williams back in the game, wrestled away the offensive rebound. Hunter almost lost it. Brandon Newman was pushed. A little hand check foul, I think. And Wisconsin, a team, we talk about how deliberately they play. They don't turn it over. They also typically don't foul much, but Purdue's in the bonus now. That's the 7th team foul against the Badgers in the first half. So Brandon Newman, who's a great free throw shooter, freshman, redshirt freshman from Valparaiso. He's had some big games. He scored 29 against Minnesota, two-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Now, these days, now that Stefanovic is back sort of playing normally like himself, Brandon Newman's coming off the bench, still averaging almost 9 points a game.
That's a hard thing to do, Dave, too, when you've been starting, especially for a young player, because you don't understand the big picture yet. Especially when you haven't really done anything wrong. You know, I mean, he was playing well. You mentioned, I mean, he had some good nights. For Matt Painter to go to him and say, hey, we're going to go with this lineup because we feel it's working better for us. We're going to bring you off the bench. We want you to still be who you are. And for Newman to handle that the way he has says a lot about his character.
They doubled Davison and left Reavers wide open, and at some point he and Wisconsin are going to have to make Purdue pay for that. He missed the open three. So Wisconsin started 3 for 3 from three-point range. They haven't made one since. Stefanovic almost dribbled into a three, decided not to take it. Here's Williams down low. Been very quiet half for Trevion Williams. In fact, he still hasn't scored, which is amazing. Purdue has the 4-point lead. Ford, high arcing three. No good.
Yeah, and yet to Jordan's point, they're still scoring in the paint. I mean, that's been the area where they have over the last 3 games. You know, here again, I mean, they had 48 points in the paint against Michigan State, 40 against Penn State, 36 against Nebraska. A lot of it post-ups, but not all of it. You know, driving the ball, offensive rebounding. They have dominated the paint offensively, especially over their last 3 games.
Almost like Trevion Williams just said, I cannot go to the halftime locker room with a 0 next to my name. So he just bullied his way to the basket, got his first bucket. Purdue's up 6. The biggest lead for the Boilermakers, who trailed early. Wisconsin got off to the quick start. Reavers, perfect. He's got 8. You know, it's been a funny year for Nate Reavers. I figured he was in line to take a big, I mean, he's already a really good player last year. I thought he was going to have a monster year, and it just has not happened for him, at least offensively. Wheeler shoots the 3. That one's good. Anything they get from the outside from Aaron Wheeler, whose shot just has not been going down, is a big-time bonus. That looked pure.
He's coming off of his best 2-game stretch. He's been very active. He's been more efficient than he has on the season.
Reavers will shoot that long 2. Came up well short. Wall tracks down the rebound. Here's Davidson's 3. In and out. Another good look, but it wouldn't go down. Stefanovic, quick release. Reavers grabs the board. Under 2 minutes to go. Wisconsin's missed their last 7 threes. And look, Chris has been talking about it. Some of them haven't been great looks, but a lot of them have been like that. And finally one goes down, this time for Davison, who's had a really nice half. He's got 10 now.
That's a tough shot, too. I mean, he's on the move, going to his left.
Williams down low. That was good defense, I think, by Reavers. I was almost going to ask, will Wisconsin go 2 for 1? Then I remembered. It's Wisconsin. They're not going 2 for 1.
What is that?
Reaching foul against Purdue.
Here's his Davison 3, Dave, and they get good action on the backside. Wisconsin typically does, and there's Davidson again on the move to his left. Another guy who has not shot it well of late, but that's what he does on the year. 61% of his shots are threes. There's another one.
And that one looked pretty good coming out of his hand, but Purdue with the basketball, and there is a little difference, game clock, shot clock, but not much. Tomorrow, the official start of our Champ Week on ESPN and our family of networks. All right, Purdue, see if they can get a good look here, Chris, in the final seconds of this first half. Content to let Isaiah Thompson just dribble. And now Jaden Ivey, who's really playing well, skipped over to Thompson for three. Short. Rebound, Wisconsin. They have time on the clock. Aleem Ford will attack, hang, and score. Wisconsin gets a bucket basically at the buzzer to make this a two-point game in the first half for the Badgers. And yet Wisconsin's only down 2. They were down 7 with what, about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Made a nice little push, including a bucket right as the horn was sounding by Aleem Ford, who's got the ball, first possession of the second half. Reavers popped out for the 3 look. No.
Well, that end of half, and you said it going to the break, Dave, not handled well by Purdue. You know, I thought they should have at least looked to throw the ball inside to Williams. But then to shoot it too early, you end up letting Wisconsin get a bucket right before the half ends.
Badgers get called for a foul away from the ball. Purdue didn't score in those last 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the first half. Purdue's been a much, much better second half team this year. So we'll see if that holds to form here tonight. Stefanovic curled around to the elbow area, missed the shot though. Tyler Wall brought the ball up. Can do a little bit of everything for the Badgers. Not much of a scorer, although he'll have his moments. Davison led Wisconsin with 10, and he got a good look there. Just it wouldn't go down.
Oh,
Hunter,
nice.
right to the basket, shot block. Williams followed, missed, but followed his own miss and finally tipped it in.
And it was a good ball fake by Hunter. Couldn't get the finish. Nice defensive play by Wisconsin. But how about Trevion Williams? Only 2 points at the half. He's going to manufacture his own on the offensive glass.
Wall went baseline, reversed it in. Good move. Well, that double team came just enough to make Williams get rid of the ball. Jaden Ivey, another reverse, second one like that in this game. My goodness.
And there's that 2-foot takeoff that Matt Painter was talking to us about today. You're much stronger. You're in a much stronger position, particularly in the air, on that 2-foot takeoff. And then his athleticism does the rest.
Ford found Reavers, who couldn't dunk it home, but does draw the foul.
It's just a big-time move. There's a lot of this you can't teach. The up and under, using the other side of the basket. Saw a move like this in the first half, but it's that 2-foot takeoff where you're much more in control of yourself and able to make that type of dexterous play in the air. I don't speak from experience, obviously, what it's like to make plays like that in the air, Dave, but I can only imagine.
Just a super explosive player. You see it in all aspects of his game. It's kind of an unorthodox jump shot he features, but it goes down a lot of the times. Reavers makes 1 of 2 free throws. It's a 3-point lead for Purdue. We were talking about, players that have come through the program with Matt Painter of late, and he really thinks that Ivey's got the potential to have a Carson Edwards-like impact as an all-around player, explosive scorer. 3-second violation. Williams, that goes as a Purdue turnover.
When you talk about athletically, I mean, he's going to be one of the most athletic players to come through this program. You'd have to go back maybe to the Three Amigos, the Everett Stevens, Todd Mitchell days, Troy Lewis. I mean, the athletes they had on that squad under Gene Cady. I mean, he is Jaden Ivey is an athlete, and like we said earlier, he's starting to build a basketball game around that as he's been coached.
Trice looking for his first points. There they are. Perfect from three for Dimitri Trice. He can get hot and score him in bunches. Ivey went behind the back, then was ripped to the floor. He'll shoot free throws.
Dimitri Trice, 9 threes in their last 2 games, shooting at 70% from there. He is a tough shot maker, and I know you want to shrink the floor. That's too much space for Trice. And then here's Ivey. And when you start making moves like this in traffic, in the lane, that's next level type stuff.
Ivey hit the floor hard, so it's taken him a minute just to make sure everything's okay. Kind of gets stretched out again. Brad Davison, even on the first free throw, making sure everybody knew their box out assignments. There's Mom, the L. Now the head coach of one of the most proud programs on the women's side of the game. Getting to watch Jaden tonight in person. He makes both free throws. She looks more nervous as a mom than she does as a head coach, doesn't she? Double team came on Micah Potter. Shot clock winding down. Tyler Wall against Gillis. Wall, little hook shot, good.
Really good patience by Wall. Only a sophomore, going to be a really good player. 6'9", gives them some versatility. Really good patience there on the block.
It's kind of how they do it at Wisconsin. You can have patience on an individual shot. Great pass from Ivey. Williams scores with a foul.
You said it, it's the pass. He wanted to shoot it and had the presence of, and maybe he would have a month or so ago, but the presence of mind to find a big fella. And nice job by Trevion Williams to continue to move into space, move into that lane, carve out your space. And a good find by the freshman.
So Williams, who had not scored, has 6 here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. That's a little more like it. He's not always a great free throw shooter. He's got a real soft touch around the rim. You figure at some point he's working hard at it. He makes that one to complete the three-point play. Both Ford and Potter have 3 fouls. So Potter back to the bench. Reavers back in for Wisconsin. Williams guarding him out on the perimeter. That's a reach in against Hunter.
You know, all 5 of those teams at the top play in different ways, so there's different styles that the league's going to take to the NCAA tournament. League is as well positioned as it's been in a long time.
Good look down low. Wall, though, didn't get a shot off, had it stripped away, and then what? Did they call a foul? I guess they did. Or maybe Wheeler was out of bounds while he was touching the ball. I think they called a foul against Aaron Wheeler. So Badgers will inbound. I mean, Chris, before tonight, I would have said Michigan. Look, Big Ten's great, but Michigan's the team that has the best chance in the Big Ten to win it all. After tonight, I don't know if that changes. What do you think? If there's a favorite from this league to run through the NCAA tournament, who is it?
I think it's Michigan, but what a tough shot there. I think it's Michigan. The problem is, you know, again, against a team like Illinois that defends the way that they do, you know, I thought there was a no-show element to Michigan's performance tonight. And I thought once it started to build momentum for Illinois, they kind of shut it down. And I don't know what that's about. But with the way that they have played, the balance that they have, I mean, you know, Dave, we've seen them. I'm still okay with Michigan.
Reavers missed the chance for the three-point play after that beautiful shot, but Wisconsin got the offensive rebound, and now another foul, this time against Brandon Newman, defending Nate Reavers. So Matt Painter not real happy with this last sequence. His Boilermakers up by 1. Well, I called the game Wisconsin played against Michigan early in Big Ten Conference season, which was, I mean, almost literally the best game I've ever seen any team play. Michigan absolutely annihilated this Badgers team. Whether it was a 41-5 run or whatever it was in the middle part of that game. So the upside for the Wolverines is that good. Tonight was sort of the flip side of that. That pass went right through the legs of Wheeler. It's a turnover. Maybe a rare fast break bucket for the Badgers. It is. Jonathan Davis laid it in, and Wisconsin's taken a 1-point lead. Give the Badgers credit. They have not played real good basketball these last few weeks. They're hanging tough tonight. Wheeler's three goes down.
Big shot. Big shot. He is playing some really good basketball.
He looks like a different guy, even from just a couple weeks ago. Much more confident offensive player right now, Aaron Wheeler. There's Davis, kind of stopped, pulled up for the jumper, missed it.
There's Wheeler again.
Williams down low, not looking to make a move, at least not yet. Now he'll go to work. Davis helped. Three in and out. Wheeler offensive board. Hunter will shoot the three. No. Eric Hunter has not scored, and he's been shooting the ball pretty well of late. He's been an offensive contributor, always a very good defensive player. He almost stole it away from Dimitri Trice. Reavers three. Off to the side. Long rebound. Wall grabbed it. And Wheeler fell down, so Wall attacked Williams, came over, gets called for the foul.
The offensive glass here for Wisconsin coming up big over the last couple minutes. And a good decision there by Wall to press the issue. Not only do you get 2 free throws, you pick up a foul on Travion Williams.
That's his third. Yeah, transition bucket, a couple offensive rebounds. Wall, though, misses the first free throw. Saturday night, stack card on UFC 259. 3 titles on the line. The prelims start at 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. Then the main card at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. To get that main card in English or Spanish, sign up today at ESPN.com/PPV. Second free throw is good. 1-point lead for Purdue. 13-19 to go. Important Big Ten game. Wisconsin needs a win against a good team. They just haven't had one in a while. Purdue, meanwhile, if they win this and then against the Hoosiers in the regular season finale, Purdue could lock in a top 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament and a double bye. Zack Edey, no shot, comes in the game and immediately gets the ball, makes a move, and draws a foul. So right now, Purdue is in. I mean, it's amazing. Ohio State, Chris, could very well be the number 5 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Right now, they're slotted to be the number 5 seed in the Big Ten Conference tournament because Purdue's ahead of them, and they beat them head-to-head 2 times.
Yeah, it's very misleading. You know, the seed, whatever seed you might have in the Big Ten tournament, it's going to look vastly different in the NCAA tournament.
Edey made one, missed the second. I mean, it just is one example of many of how deep and talented the Big Ten is this year. Wisconsin defending champs, all that experience. They've lost 8 Big Ten games. 10-8 coming in. Trice missed the jumper. Edey, that pass went away from him. Wheeler just led him too far. Purdue turnover.
Looked a little bit like a flopperoonie to me.
Reavers tried to sell it, and it didn't work. Live or on replay? Well, Wisconsin's back up by 1. Edey, one dribble, leans in and missed the layup. Got his own miss back. Will take another dribble and then get fouled.
I don't know why he used the other side of the rim there. He had it on the left side. You're 7'4", brother. I mean, you had the angle. Just go up and either punch that thing through or just tap it off the glass.
Maybe he thought he was going to hit his head on the underside of the backboard. I don't know. One thing about Zack Edey, he is not shy. He comes in the game, he is ready to go. Ready to shoot, pass, rebound, block a shot, whatever. Doesn't take him long to get into the flow. Newman had his shot just swatted away.
Nice play there. Just coming hard by Davis. From behind, staying with the play.
Second block tonight. Edey, they tried to lob it into him on the inbounds play. Wisconsin was ready for it. Potter got a hand on it, steals it away. Purdue's been a little sloppy with the ball for a low possession game. The turnovers are starting to pile up. That's 9 on the Boilermakers. Wisconsin, predictably, has not turned it over as often. Anderson, too strong. Been a while since Purdue made a shot. 3 minutes or so. Newman, again, a reach-in foul against the Badgers. So a close game in the Big Ten tonight. So it's do or die time for the Blue Devils this year. The resume is firmly on the bubble as they get Carolina this weekend.
That's where in this conference you're playing games, Dave, that help you. You know, if you're Duke, you had to win really 3 of your last 4 here that you were guaranteed, and they've now lost 2 straight.
Yep, you're right about that. That is a big difference. Extra pass. Potter found Davison wide open, and he missed it. But the tap back, Davison's going to try again, this time from the wing, and he came up way short. Man, those were ugly. That's a good shooter, Brad Davison. Those two weren't even close.
Well, normally the second one, you at least have a feel. You know, you took the first one, and the next one you have your adjustment and you bang it down. The second one almost looked worse than the first.
Well, that's where Brad Davison's just too good of a player. I mean, he came in tonight shooting for the year 31% overall. 31% for the year. Jaden Ivey back in for Purdue. He's been their best player tonight, I think, and he immediately got fouled.
Well, the problem for Davison is not only is he shooting it poorly from the perimeter, but he's even worse from inside the arc. There was a period this year where Brad Davison was shooting the worst percentage from 2 than anybody in the country. And he's still only shooting 22%. I don't know if that's still the worst, but I mean, it just, you know, he struggles scoring it from 2-point range. And it's been a real struggle, like you said, from 3.
Purdue already in the bonus. Ivey hits the first free throw to earn the second. That tied the game. I mean, Brad Davison's put his body on the line for years for Wisconsin. He's been one of the ultimate tough guys in their program's history. I mean, his first couple of years, his shoulder kept popping out. He didn't want to miss games. Playing his 123rd career game tonight. But just not having the kind of year that he dreamed of. Shooting the ball, that's for sure. Ivey, wow, back in the game. Immediate impact, makes both free throws, puts Purdue back up by 1. Wisconsin led by 8 in the early minutes. Nobody has had a double-figure lead at any point in this game. It's been close all the way through. Potter, catch and shoot 3 off to the side. Purdue in transition. Hunter got cut off. Potter did get back. Here's Ivey's 3. That one, I think he knew that was short. Davison got fouled by Eric Hunter. I mean, a ton of whistles in this second half. Both teams are in the bonus with 10 minutes to go. I mean, especially when Wisconsin's involved in a game. You do not expect that really on either end. Wisconsin doesn't commit a lot of fouls. They typically don't draw a lot of fouls. There have been whistles just left and right in this second half.
And a lot of undisciplined ones. Like that last foul there is undisciplined. You're out of the play, you're behind the play, and just kind of make a flying stab that leads to a foul.
Purdue got away with it because Davison missed the front end. Even free throws not automatic for Brad Davison. Ivey kind of working his way in through traffic. Potter affected that shot, and then Trice, did he get hit in the head or raked across the face? Something like that. Williams got called for a foul for doing this. Let's see. Wow, right in the face.
Can't feel good. Those bear claws that Trevion Williams has.
That's his 4th foul. So Edey will come in. Williams goes out.
It's just talking about. I mean, it's just undisciplined. And when you're Trevion Williams and your fouls are a premium, you just can't. You can't give that away.
It also puts Dimitri Trice at the free throw line, where you just think he's almost automatic.
When you say that, are you trying to make him miss? Like, are you trying to do the broadcaster jinx there when you say that so boldly right before he releases it?
Here's the thing about broadcaster jinxes. You only say stuff like that when either the odds are so heavily in favor of something happen, or there's been a trend line that's lasted a long time, so at some point it's bound to turn around. Those are the only times you mention stuff like that as a play-by-play guy. Edey, little shot fake, scored with a foul. How do you stop that?
You don't, especially when he's got the footwork. I mean, that's what's so impressive about Edey at his size. Playing in the post is about where you catch it in the angle you have. He caught it with 2 feet in the paint, and then watch him work his angle. And he probably got pushed there. I'm sure there's some Wisconsin fans saying he traveled. He actually got pushed when he caught it. But he kept his pivot foot, and he just worked his angle. And he worked himself a better angle. And then when you're that size, at that point, all you got to do is just lay it off the backboard.
With a soft touch. I mean, he makes his free throws, too. Micah Potter commits his 4th foul, and Greg Gard's talking to him down at the end of the bench. So we get foul trouble on both sides with 9:20 to play, 48-46, another whistle. What happened to tough guy Big Ten? I mean, they are calling it tight tonight. Double bonus now for Wisconsin. Well, 2 rivalry games on Thursday on ESPN and the app. Number 2 Michigan looking to bounce back against their rivals, the Spartans, who got a huge win tonight at home against Indiana. That's at 7 Eastern, then at 9 Eastern in the Big 12. Texas and Oklahoma both in the top 20. Both games will stream live on ESPN's app. Meanwhile, here, tie game with 9 minutes to go. Edey, that pass deflected and out of bounds, trying to kick it back out to Ivey. Those have been Purdue's best 2 players tonight, Edey and Ivey. Has a little ring to it, too. I think those 2 guys as a combination, I mean, you sort of think about the future for Purdue, one of the very youngest teams in all of college basketball. If you rank teams by experience coming into the year, Purdue 331 out of 347. I mean, truly remarkable how well they've played.
Well, they have Edey's 2 top 40 kids coming in, Dave. So I mean, this is you keep this core, it only gets better with an infusion of more talent.
You got to be really exciting for Purdue fans to think Hunter lost the ball, tried to shovel it over to his teammate. Ultimately a jump ball. Purdue will keep it.
Just a little careless with the basketball there, but big tree fall hard.
I wouldn't want to be under Zack Edey when he dives for a loose ball. Shot clock at 2, so Purdue has possession. They got to get a quick look. Catch, shoot, Ivey. Too strong. Edey right over top Reavers. Just snatched it away. And then gets the pass from Gillen. Scored with another foul. He's dominating inside right now.
He is dominating. And it starts with his effort. Because look, when you're this big, you're going to carve out space naturally just by being in there. But when you play hard, all of a sudden now you're making plays outside of your area. So he gathers the offensive board, throws it back out, and then reposts. What a possession there by Zack Edey.
Yeah, truly. He missed the free throw, so no three-point play this time. The 7'4" freshman from Toronto who grew up playing ice hockey, was a great, really good young baseball pitcher. Kept growing, has devoted himself to hoops. Having a big night tonight against Wisconsin. With Purdue's star down low, Trevion Williams having a quiet game and on the bench with 4 fouls. Reavers almost like you can't see him. Now Edey calls for the block. Davison just was not going to be denied, went charging into the lane.
Well, it's been closely officiated. It hasn't stopped this game from getting pretty physical on both ends. Bodies on the floor on the other end. And then Davison just like a bat out of hell down the lane.
And that's the second foul against young Zack Edey. Makes that first free throw. Davison, I mean, he's even missed 2 free throws tonight. He's a, what, 86% free throw shooter. Chance to tie the game with 8:11 to go. He does. Edey right over the top. Why not just go to him every time? I think Purdue's going to do that.
It's a coming out game for Zack Edey. He has been terrific on both ends.
He is not just a big guy taking up space. I mean, he's got skill. He plays hard. He's tough. Trice back to Reavers. Good look. 3. Too strong. There's Wall right there to clean it up and lay it in. Tied again, 52-52, nearing 7 minutes to go. Over the top, Edey catches. I mean, Davison just got crunched.
Is Illinois better without Ayo Dosunmu? Coming up next on First Take.
I mean, you can sort of see it coming. The answer is a resounding no. However, they won on the road against Wisconsin and on the road against Michigan without him, which is really, really impressive for Brad Underwood's team.
So it's not so resounding a no now, Dave. I don't know. You were quick on that trigger.
I mean, those are 2 great wins without a guy who's played almost as well as anybody in the country this year. No question. Davison tried to thread one in there to Aleem Ford, who then bounced it over to Reavers. All the while, Zack Edey is there to protect the rim. Wisconsin never even got a shot off. Jaden Ivey. Davison falls down, so Ivey lays it in.
And he's given a flop warning to Davison there. You know, this is getting a little bit ugly. I mean, it's taken some of the rhythm out of this game. We've had so many fouls called. I mean, none of these possessions, that's 2 possessions on the interior that were ugly. And they just hit Davison with a flop warning.
Yeah, he was upset about it. He said he just tripped, but they warned him. We've had 21 fouls called in the second half alone. When's the last Wisconsin game like that? Ford pulls up, hits it.
And that is not a shot that he has been accustomed to taking and making this year. Putting it on the floor. Really a jump shooter, standstill, 3-point shooter.
Edey just surveying. Wheeler gets the pass, and Wheeler draws another foul.
Good ball movement, and Wheeler, another guy who has stepped into the void tonight. Trevion Williams, Stevanovic have not been at their best. Aaron Wheeler stepped in, hit a couple big shots, done a nice job on the glass.
Well, he makes the free throw. His three-point shot has looked so much better tonight. There's Williams trying to stay loose with the 4 fouls over on the Purdue bench. Before that free throw, Aaron Wheeler for the year at the free throw line was 5 for 12. Sort of hard to believe a player of his skill set, size, ability has only shot 12, now 14 free throws, but he made them both. It's a 4-point lead for Purdue. Potter back in with his 4 fouls. Wall got cut off. Good help by the freshman Edey. That jumper too strong for Trice. But Tyler Wall grabs another offensive rebound. He's made a lot of little plays in this second half for the Badgers. Trice tries it again. No. Rebound Edey.
Tough night for Trice. He's now 1 of 7.
Ivey 3 too strong. Wheeler tapped it, and they're going to call him over the back.
And that's his 4th foul. And that's a good call. Lean Ford had good position, but Wheeler, he's been on the glass all night. On the glass all night. But that's a big 4th foul on him. Because with Williams out, he's been their most consistent rebounder, their most consistent guy on the glass.
He has. They both have 4 fouls now. Under 5 minutes to play. Ford. More double bonus time for Wisconsin. The free throw line is saving the Badgers. One more to come for Lean Ford. Made them both. 2-point game. Thirteen of Wisconsin's 28 in this second half have come from the free throw line. Wheeler 3. Another one for Aaron Wheeler.
And you don't normally want to help off that strong side corner if you're a Lean Ford, but as you pointed out a moment ago, Dave, Wheeler not really on that scouting report a guy that you have to lock in on from that 3-point line. You can help off.
Amazing. He shot 22% from 3 coming into tonight, and now Potter dunks it home with a foul. Purdue, instead of just letting him finish the dunk, committed the foul. Now a chance for a 3-point play.
Again, a Lean Ford, he's plugging. He's caught ball watching a little bit because you don't have to be locked into Wheeler. And then how about this pass? Demetric Trice, good deception on the look away. Trice only 1 of 7 from the floor, but a good dime right there.
So Potter makes a free throw. The answer with the old-fashioned 3-point play. Back to a 2-point Purdue lead. And just in case you're counting, 24 fouls called now in the second half. Edey a little too strong, tried to tip it in, he did. Just too big. He's tied his career high 19. Wall almost fell out of bounds. Trice with the switch has Wheeler on him. Here's Wall's 3. Way too strong. Potter goes and grabs the offensive board. Potter couldn't quite catch it cleanly. He found Davison, though. His 3 is good.
That's a veteran shot right there. Look at the emotion. A big shot.
Boilermakers ball up just 1 despite the spectacular night for this guy. Another basket for the freshman and a new career high for Zack Edey. Unstoppable tonight.
You just can't get around him, so you're caught behind him all night. I think they're trying to fight to make it harder to catch.
Good defense by Eric Hunter to stay right on top Demetric Trice. Now Trice found a little opening, bricked it. Potter, though, lays it in. And Wheeler is down and hurting. Holding that left knee. All right, so hopefully Aaron Wheeler is okay. He does get up. We'll take our break and check in on him. And when we talked to Coach Gard today, I mean, there was concern on his face. His team has not played very well here down the stretch. It would be a huge boost for the Badgers. Edey found his teammate Hunter, who lays it in for his first points of the night.
And because Edey was up towards that Big Ten logo, that block was unoccupied, which opened up that drive.
Jaden Ivey was harassing Brad Davison as he brought the ball up across midcourt. Tough night for Demetric Trice. Finds Potter. Extra pass. Ford three. In and out. No good. Long rebound. And there's the 7'4" freshman to track it down.
How about Zack Edey, the guy in the game? A minute 40 left in a one-possession game. Travion Williams on the bench. That's how well Edey has played tonight.
Absolutely remarkable. Travion Williams been one of the best players in the Big Ten. Edey, they're going to call it for a travel there. A travel. That's a Purdue turnover.
And that's great defense by Micah Potter. He stood his ground. He took a shot to the chest. And that's a great call. Shuffled his feet. He was trying to make contact first. And a really good stand there made by Potter.
All right, so Edey, after that turnover, is coming out. Williams with the 4 fouls, has not been on the floor in a long time. Wheeler also came back in, which is great news for Purdue. Plenty of timeouts on both sides and each team in the double bonus.
Be interesting to see here. My guess is Trice will be involved. Trice gets a look here. Has not shot it well tonight.
He's usually their big shot maker. Micah Potter. Stefanovic cut him off, and Potter picked up his dribble. Wisconsin wants another timeout. They could not take the risk. Down 3 with just over a minute to go. That turned into a 5-second violation and a turnover, so Greg Gard used the timeout. He's got 1 left. Well, over the years, Chris, I mean, there's been no program that draws up plays, scripts stuff, has offense to run in these kind of situations better than Wisconsin. This year, it's been a struggle just to get the open look shots to go down. What do you think for Greg Gard here?
Yeah, I still like Trice. You know, again, he's 1 of 8 on the night. He hasn't been a huge part of their offense overall. And as we know, they run a lot of motion type of action stuff to get into what they want. But as good as he was late in games, as good as he is late in games, but certainly coming off that Illinois game, he's got to get a look here, Demetric Trice.
He will be the inbound passer. Certainly not afraid of the moment. He's taken so many big shots for the Badgers. Davison catches. And he's going to give it to Trice. So it looks like that's what it'll be. We'll see. Down to 5. Uses the screen. Trice shoots the contested 3. I think Wheeler got a piece of it.
He did, and that's the versatility. They switched that screen, and Wheeler's length bothered Trice on that shot.
Huge for Aaron Wheeler to be back on the floor after a collision where he was really hurting, and then to come up with the defensive play of the night. Big time.
You'd love to see Trice drive this because it was going to be a tough shot over the length of Wheeler. And you've got, you know, the spacing is good there. You've got those driving lanes. Force Williams to make a play on the back end of the defense. You settle for a tough shot. It was not well executed. Before the timeout and then after the second timeout, not well executed by Wisconsin.
So this is interesting for any coach. I mean, some coaches do believe in a spot like this. Down 3, 52 seconds left. Maybe you target a free throw shooter if he touches the ball who's not a good free throw shooter. You think Greg Gard's satisfied just to play straight up defense here?
Yeah, I would play this straight up. I mean, look, you're talking about one of the best defensive teams in the country in Wisconsin. If you're Greg Gard and you can't trust this defense to get you one stop here.
Yeah, the problem is for the Boilermakers, or for the Badgers, if Purdue makes a shot, if they don't get that stop, Purdue is in business. So under a minute, Purdue with the ball, up by 3. Stefanovic looking down low for Williams. Good catch, and he dunks it home.
Well, that went quickly, so you still got the time here, but you got to move.
That's the only good news for Wisconsin, is that happened fast. Wall will try to drive past Williams. Good defense. Trice, little shot fake, wide open. 3 is good for Trice. Back to a 2-point game. Full court pressure. Stefanovic, the inbound passer, trying to get it in, and a dangerous pass. A reach in by Trice as he tried to get it into Isaiah Thompson.
I always say in these instances, the most important player on the floor is the inbounder. And it was almost panic city for Sasha Stefanovic. Pretty lucky that thing squeezed through, and possession, the most important thing there.
You're right about that. So for Wisconsin, they foul Isaiah Thompson very quickly. Normally a good free throw shooter. He hasn't attempted one tonight. Perfect on the first. It was a good point you made a moment ago. They'll bring Williams back in the game. Williams had that dunk, which was a big play, a big basket for Purdue, but it happened so fast. Wisconsin's got the chance here now to extend this game out. There's a long way to go. Thompson coolly makes them both to put the Boilermakers up 4.
Like this, Hunter, just a little pressure, force them to inbound it and take some time.
Trice, can they force somebody else to shoot? Almost stolen away. Davison launches way off to the side. Loose ball. Potter bats it up in the air, out of bounds. So Purdue will get it with 14 seconds to go. And now they're going to have to, the game isn't as long as it was a moment ago. They're going to have to foul quickly now. Stefanovic again, the inbound passer, gets it into Eric Hunter, who is immediately fouled by Jonathan Davis. Back to the free throw line for the Boilermakers with 13.3 seconds, so less than a second came off the clock there. Eric Hunter has this season been almost automatic at the free throw line, one of the best free throw shooters in the country. So that's a good job by Purdue to get him the ball. Okay, there you go.
Nicely done, Fleming.
Hunter 90% for the year, missed the first. That helps the Badgers' hopes. They're still slim. Second one on the way, and that one misses. He missed them both. And now Wisconsin almost turns it over. Here's Wall's 3, too strong, loose ball. Aleem Ford lays it in. 3 seconds to go, down to a 2-point lead. Purdue does have the one timeout. They get it in quickly, and an immediate foul by Wisconsin. Davison going for the steal.
Another pretty chaotic possession, but time winding down here, and a nice heads-up second effort play by Ford, and then, you know, again, a quick inbound. Like, you don't have to be in a rush there if you're Aaron Wheeler.
All right, Mom. Here tonight. Jaden Ivey very calmly, and he's eyeing Brad Davison, who's just talking the whole time he's shooting those free throws. There's no rule against that. Obviously huge here. He made them both. The freshman comes through. 4-point lead. Davison, the former high school quarterback. That one was intercepted, and Purdue is going to come away with a win, 73-69. The Boilermakers get the victory.